You're here early. Sometimes it's good to be early. But our show starts at a specific time. You should remember that. Let's get started then, shall we?
Dylan, I don't give a what you think about a co-host and freshen up my show.
It might not be flashy, but sometimes you just gotta toss another person to make a statement.
My show's about the people's podcast. Everyone has a voice. I don't need a co-host. Go listen to one of the other 5,000 shows with a co-host because they don't have a mouth like the big guy.
Opie, are you a career killer with Tim Sabian, yourself, and many others?
Be myself. Never had real issues with those people. They just understood that I was a different bird. The rest of them, though, I'm like, oh, shut up. I'm paying your salary because the ratings are so good, so shut up.
Right.
Live from
Somewhere.
it's
Dylan.
Good whatever to you whenever you are listening to this. Thank you for listening. I'm already messing up my words right out of the box. Thank you so much for joining. And we will be getting to Jon Lovitz today is our host, Dabble Storian. I am Dylan. I am your co-host. That is the theme of the show. And I will be auditioning to be Jon Lovitz's co-host on this show. He had a vodcast network that's been very inactive. This is the only episode of Anything Goes with Jon Lovitz. Pardon me. But he had a few podcasts going. There was one where some guys were smoking some pot, and we got a very active chat. Thank you guys for coming in today. I did have it marked wrong. It was 11:30 p.m. rather, that I had the start time rather than 11:30 a.m. James Dillon. And fix that with about 10 minutes to go. Whoops. I've done that a couple of times, working out the kinks. And as my own producer, oh, shit. Let's not talk about my bad producing skills while I'm campaigning to be a producer for another podcast. Let's just not acknowledge that anymore. Thank all you guys for joining. And it wasn't De La. It was my foolishness. I've done it a handful of times, Dabble Storian, of putting in the wrong broadcast time. And what is up with our buddy Jon Lovitz? Well, he, if you guys remember, he was the lead in a singular movie. I thought that High School High was very funny, but what did the critics think of it?
it stinks.
You know, maybe it just needed to get to the public, and the public probably liked it. What did the public think of High School High?
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Well, that's why Jon Lovitz only starred in a single movie. I was a huge fan of The Critic. That was really ahead of its time. And like if it came out 5 years later, it would still be on air today, along with Family Guy, Simpsons, and the other animation block. Futurama, I'm absolutely loving. There's a new episode I haven't seen yet. Jon Lovitz, you haven't been on Futurama, have you? You've done a lot of voices on The Simpsons, but what are you doing here at the beach with that very pleasant look on your face, Mr. Lovitz? I am not getting that sound. Let me go out and come back in. Last time this happened, the audience was getting the sound. I am not hearing a damn thing. So go out and come back in, and hopefully that will fix the problem like it did last time that this happened. Yes, it did. I am hearing it through mine. I bet you all heard it on your end, but I was not picking it up. So let's go to the chats real quick while I have a little kerfuffle with that. Dabble Storian was a big fan of The Critic. They said it was a love letter to New York. And the small towns where I was in, the UK where you're at, it did a lot better than in New York. Okay, no sound on either end. I don't know why that is, but I went out and I am hearing it in my speaker now. So let's share that screen one more time so we can hear what our good buddy, our new buddy, we have not been buddies with him before, has to say. Tab is shared. No. Again. Well, this is a disaster of an episode, isn't it?
Is 818.
There we go.
691. No, wait a minute. I think it's 691. For Christ's sake. It's new. Yes, I was right. 818-691.
Never had that problem before, but figured that out in just a couple of minutes. So hooray, troubleshooting.
959. And I'll talk about whatever you want,
Call-in show.
And I'll be very honest. And we can talk about acting, politics,
acting,
space race. What else? Men and women,
I'm
relationships.
gonna put them at 1.5 speed. This 1.25 speed seems kind of slow.
Anything you want. Doesn't mean I'll answer it.
I want to talk about anal.
As you know, we're here at my comedy club, Jon Lovitz Comedy Club and Podcast Theater in Universal City Walk in Los Angeles. And we have other shows. If you go on the Jon Lovitz Vodcast Network, one's called FYI.
Oh, I said the wrong person, didn't I? American
Robert Finn and
Cupcake
Dimitri Young
is the
Major League Baseball
huge
player.
fan of the Critic. Yeah, I saw all the episodes. Like I missed one and then saw it in syndication on Comedy Central. I think it was the trucker fan, American Cupcake. Sorry for saying the wrong name there. Oh, both of you love it. Fantastic. I did not read it wrong. We just have multiple fans of The Critic, which with its movie parodies was a really fun thing that audience nowadays are more in tune for and ready to go for the movie parodies and such like that. And I didn't have an Adidas shirt like Jon Lovitz has, so I just kept the same color scheme with a blue on yellow ensemble as he has going on with his blue and yellow Adidas
players, and they talk about all about baseball. I was just on their show earlier, and we have a show called Talking Marijuana, which is about the legalization of medical marijuana, and you get politicians and doctors. In California, there was a political measure called Measure D.
So when Los Angeles finally did legalize marijuana, fucking shit show. Should have just kept it medical. The taxes upon it, the extra stringency, it's such a pain in the ass. And like people said, we're giving cops once again reason to harass black kids when they see them smoking pot in the back alley, whereas those teenage black kids, they had a prescription before, couldn't fuck with them then,
and these people passed that. And what else? And then there's my show, Lovitz or Leave It, which is I interview famous celebrities. I've had a T. Carrere in the studio, Steve-O on stage. I've had like Gene Simmons, Gary Busey live on the stage. And this Saturday, I'm actually at 8 o'clock at the club, 8 p.m. I'm having.
Yeah, he's really talking slow nowadays. He did turn into a big lesbian. I'm going to skip past these plugs that he's doing. Looks like he might be talking to someone. He's looking down at his phone. And do you have it hooked in through the system? Or are you like Ryback in 2023 and are just holding it up against the microphone and are claiming you don't need any help with your show whatsoever?
My friend Aaron Westbrook. Oh, hello. I have a question. Did you eat all $30 worth of candy I bought you the other day? No, Aaron, I didn't eat it all. I took a bite, though. I'm trying to lose weight. Aaron Westbrook, by the way, she's on this TV show I do.
Last time I saw Jon Lovitz, he was not succeeding at the goal he set for himself. I believe this was 10 years ago, something like that. Whoops, didn't mean to do that.
Mr. Box Office.
I am just Mr. Fuck Up this morning.
Aaron, who's only been here 3
Glad I didn't fuck up too bad on anything with Tara Mooney yesterday. I had a lot of fun with her, and I believe she would not enjoy that at all. But I enjoy you over here, Tara Mooney.
Years. Got, a part of Mr. Box Office, a series in syndication. She just got cast in Glee. She has a very large recurring role on the show Glee. Huge break for Aaron. So congratulations to Aaron. Ruben Martinez says, what is this thing on my back? Well, I don't, it's probably a tumor. Might want to get it removed. Do we have any calls coming in? Apparently we do, but I can't hear anything.
Well, look at me. Jon Lovitz and I are just two peas in a pod, fucking up the audio at the beginning of our podcast. This is just very appropriate that I fucked it up on this broadcast of all my broadcasts, since you're fucking it up on your end. Let's do this together, John. Let's just vamp while we figure out why we can't hear anything. The Jon Lovitz Comedy Club used to have Kevin Smith's podcast until he stopped paying them. And apparently he barely did any stand-up there, says Dabblestorian. And that is like how Brad Garrett doesn't do a stand-up too often at the Brad Garrett Comedy Club, as I remember, out in Las Vegas. But they stop in there. That's how they make money. And some people, actually Jay Leno, I don't think he owns a piece of Flappers in Burbank, but Jay Leno is at Flappers in Burbank like all the fucking time. And when you own a comedy club, depends on, you don't want to overexpose yourself is another thing. You want your name to be the big name there. Maybe you could be the host regularly. Being that you actually put your name on there, it's more to bring the people in rather than you will see me every day. Because seeing Jon Lovitz every day, I'd rather see 26 times a year, just once a week for 26 weeks, and that's how it worked out there on your television shows.
Don't work. I'll have to take them off and listen to it on speaker. Captain Awesome again. Boxers brief or commando? Well, in the shower, I like to wear boxers.
I suppose I can call into the show, Dabblestorian. The number is listed there at the bottom. 818-691-3959 is still there on his YouTube page for all the world to see. But I would have to run it like Ryback. I haven't done the proper things to get it to run through the computer like El Horrible has on his show, where it sounds as good as a radio station. Mine would sound like Ryback's. So that is a problem that we would have if I called into the Jon Lovitz show to let him know
Hill,
I'm talking to you now. And now I'm talking to you here. I'm talking to you in two places, Jon Lovitz.
You know, the second one did about 45 million at the box office. The first one did like 125 million. So I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm glad you watched them. Watch the second one. Wayne V says, when will I host Saturday Night Live? And the answer to that is, I don't think I'll be hosting unless my career heats up again.
Yeah, they get people who are hot. They don't get people that used to be on the show just to get them on the show anymore. Maybe at one point they did, because the first cast of characters, they of course were just superstars by the second, third season of Saturday Night Live. So having them come back was a treat. I don't know if John Belushi ever came back to host, but he did pull some favors to have the punk band Fear come in and start a mosh pit that cost tens of thousands of dollars to that studio. Rochi and Dabblestorian know a little bit more of the beef with Jon Lovitz and Kevin Smith than I do, asking, didn't he want all the money from the Kevin Smith podcast? And that sounds about right, of trying to get the business deals going. Sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot and asking for too much, even if that was an opening proposal and he wanted to negotiate. Kevin Smith, you get the fuck out of here.
I hosted it in 1997.
For High School High.
But, you know, it's all right. By the way, when I was on the show, maybe I'd be in like 3 to 5 sketches every show.
They never had you in for The Critic, which a huge fan. Like to this day, I love those. On YouTube, someone has got up the first season, the second season, not up on YouTube. So I may have to pay money for a physical copy. I do want physical copies of some things. I have a bunch of sketch shows, Kids in the Hall, the SCTVs that they released, Mr. Show on DVD.
Of course, everybody dreams of, you know, hosting that show. And I finally got to host it. I was in like every sketch, dress rehearsal, 12 sketches. It was too much. It's much harder hosting than I realized. So be careful for what you wish for.
It is like one of the layers of hell. I had that experience too, where I had to be someone else for 3 weeks straight. And then, finally, you want to, like Homer Simpson and the donuts, where they're like, have all the donuts you want. You want to pretend and get paid for it? You want to act? Do it all day, every day, 12 days straight. I was ready for that break.
How would I have ended Rat Race? That is an excellent question. And I told Jerry Zucker this when I did the movie Rat Race. I did not like the ending. I said, why do you end it that Whoopi Goldberg, we lose the money, and then Whoopi to the billionaires. And Whoopi Goldberg says, well, I made a bet on behalf of all of us that we would lose. And then we end up making billions, and then we send all of them on a race. Steve, are you there on the line?
Okay, that's a fun little circle that it begins again. Here we go again, ending. I don't remember much about Rat Race. It was basically a remake of Mad, 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 Mad World. And I am a huge fan of Mad, 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 Mad World. It has so many of the comedians from the day. It even has the Three Stooges, as old as they were inept firemen, and it went past them. It must have been Curly Joe. Either it was Curly Joe or it was just Moe and Larry that they had there as the firemen, and Sid Caesar, and just everyone of the time was in Mad World. There were some people that were pissed they didn't get to ask to be in the movie.
Sorry about that, John. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm great. Well, thank you so much for calling.
Oh, my pleasure. Let me ask you a question. I've
Okay.
always wondered this. As a big fan, what is the most challenging role you've ever taken on?
Oh, let's see. Well, I'll tell you, the first thing is the hardest thing to me in acting, and I've done Broadway plays, I've done tons of plays in college, I've done live TV, sitcoms, everything. Film acting is the biggest challenge because they shoot it out of order, and everything you do.
I disagree. The fact that you are live on stage, I feel intimidated to go back to acting on stage versus having to do it takes over and over and over again. Okay, I see what he's saying. Getting yourself in the proper mindset of the movie being out of order. And when the movie's incomplete, that's a fucking mess. But when the movie's complete, you have an idea. I do find that easier. You just take the direction at that point. It's more on the director to get you to know, we're not playing this for a joke. I was playing it for a joke. This is actually a serious pivotal moment. I'll play it that way. And the director should have all that tone shit right and to tell me do this and guide me in that direction. I've seen it happen on set before of the actor choosing the wrong direction, and it was a fun direction, but in the overall arc, you got to have a good director. I don't know who the director of High School High was, who you would have been most involved in.
So everything you do, the audience is reading into it. And so it's a very, very subtle art. And you could have a scene where you're just walking down the street and then you walk up to a door and knock on a door. You could do 5 little things in that part, in just that shot. That means something because the audience reads into everything. But I think the movie... I do find that
fun as well of setting up outside the door. And like, this is a side character who we're going to see again and again. So we're doing this all in once. This is the second scene, the 28th scene, the 56th scene. So you're in all different types of wardrobe. You've got your mindset in different places. I find that fun. So me and Jon Lovitz disagree on there. Once I went to film, I find film much easier where he does not. And Dabblestorian is a big fan of Rat Race. And I do know the concept. Mad World was the equivalent of people going, we're looking for the big X. And shenanigans ensue. More on the drama with Kevin Smith. Kevin was recording at Jon Lovitz's club, but all the money from the door and the podcast and ads, how I remember, it's a split. It's a split. He was trying to do the podcast one thing. All right, you're providing the content, but this is my building, so we're going to do a 60-40 split. That drama unfolding with Podcast One and Cast Media. Stay tuned to Jim Cornette. He's putting those clips out on YouTube. What a fleece those people are trying to put on those performers. John sounds like he's using chemical stimulation, Isaac Walmart believes. Yeah, I speed it up. I get through it. So this is 1.5 time. The 1.25 time. I don't know why I landed on this. It just seemed to go so slow most of the time.
I had a short scene.
Here he is, regular speed.
In the beginning, and a girl is breaking up with me, and the scene was very funny and very sad at the same time. And the emotions of this guy changed where he's like,
I still have it at 1.25.
Really upset, then he breaks down and cries, then he stops, then he's friendly, and then he gets angry, and then he gets very vindictive. And so it was a great scene written by Todd Solondz, and also I had to do that scene. It had to just be myself, as opposed to doing you're doing a character, but it was more coming from myself, and I had to keep crying for like 12 hours. So I had to keep thinking of things that would make you upset enough to cry.
That it's a 12-hour cry fest. I've got my thing. That was one thing I thought for a while. I cannot cry on cue. That's something I thought I could do, couldn't do. But thanks for that pain in 2017, lady. That still works. I can't believe it still works, but what a wound. I can't pick at that wound too often. I don't want it to scab over. Let's just keep that as an open wound to go to when we need to emote extremely on camera. We will think about that.
because you really have to cry, you know. And
So it's like your dog dying for 12 hours straight.
yeah, but then that didn't work. So then I have to think of something worse, and then something.
And yes, it would put me in that time and place, and I would be fucking emotional wreck.
Else worse. And then like the worst thing, you know, my father passed away and I pictured him sticking his head out and waving to me going, "Hi, John." And I'm like, "Oh, I mean, it was just like, it was exhausting. And after that scene, I was
Breaking Bad, when the girlfriend died of Jesse, and Walt let it happen, and he did shed a tear. The actor Bryan Cranston said that he pictured his daughter in that place to get that tear to come. So we are fucking mad that, yes, we will think of something to put us in the most shitty mindset in order to get the shot for you.
I was depressed for 2 weeks because when you cry, for even though it's acting, you're still physically crying for 12 hours. So your body, you know, you feel it.
Huh.
Where are you
I
calling
really-
from? Hello?
Hello,
Oh, where are you calling from anyway?
Long Beach.
Oh, great. Now, are you watching this on Ustream right now?
I am.
Oh, how's it
It's
coming
a great
across?
feed.
Oh, okay, look.
So I did try to watch this on Ustream. Doesn't exist there anymore. That link is broken. I forget if Ustream is still up, but this show is not on Ustream. That's for damn sure.
What am I doing?
Wait, I walked away from my computer for a second. Hang on one sec.
You're being a boomer.
You looking?
You put me
You
on the
see me
spot. I
waving?
walked away from my computer to
Oh.
talk to you here.
Are you walking back?
You can hear my voice and you can see me on this radio broadcast. When I was a child, we would all gather around the radio to hear what little orphan Annie would do next.
Give me one sec.
Well, while Steve walks back to his computer, let me see if there's some other questions. Let's see. I answered that. What's your favorite color? Oh, High School High is your favorite movie I'm in. That's from R.J. Salazar. Well, thank you.
It's the only movie you
Oh,
starred
Alex,
in.
How would you handle a
He had
hostage?
small roles in other movies. Not coming to mind right now. Well, there was one they played on Comedy Central with aliens. It wasn't Earth Girls or Easy, but yeah, he
Negotiation.
showed up places.
I think I would lie to the kidnapper guy. And
Yeah, 1 1/4 speed does sound like he's talking regularly. The 1.5 does kind of fuck with their voice. They're kind of that's why like all those sitcoms figured out at some point that they speed them up by 1.12 speed to get in more commercials. But you notice with the music, you see Family Matters, and when Urkel's doing his thing, you don't really notice that it's sped up slightly. But the Family Matters theme sped up just a little bit. You can tell with the music. And where was it? We were talking about Jim Cornette and Cast Media and Podcast One. Corny gonna kill that man. I can't believe that they got approved for that stock. That guy, that man from Cast Media, Colin Thompson, committed fraud, and they're like, he's got a job now, but he's got assets we want. So this man who committed fraud against you, we will not give you your money. We will give you this new stock, and he will be one of your bosses. And Dabblestorian theorizing that Vinny is going to go Fred Durst on us and hold some auditions for some. Oh, do you guys remember that when they wanted to get a new guitarist for Limp Bizkit? And they had around the country audition to be the guitarist for Limp Bizkit, and then Fred Durst, I'll just do it. And the thing was, they had to sign a contract where Limp Bizkit then owned that music you played. You were not allowed to play anything but original music, and Limp Bizkit had the rights to those music and to that music now. So I assume that's what that next album was Limp Bizkit steals riffs from across the USA.
I would also, though, I would get him what he wants, and then once he got outside, I'd have him arrested. That's what I would do.
I forget
It's like
who
if he
he
wants
was.
a plane, you go, here's your plane, and then the pilot's an FBI guy and shoots him in the head. Well, anyway, Steve, thank you for calling. We have another call. Alex, you're on with me on Anything Goes on Jon Lovitz and the Vodcast Network. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. You sound like me.
Oh, wow.
He does. And congratulations on Jon Lovitz 10 years ago having a better phone system than Ryback has today. And he doesn't need a fucking co-host or a fucking producer.
Gotten that before.
He may be our first fourth. I've put like an unofficial limit of 3 just for no reason whatsoever. So someone will break through and come back for a 4th time. It'll probably be Ryback because I can't quit him.
Actually, that's not the first time people have said that.
Oh, it isn't? And I'm saying it, and I am me.
Wow. Well, thank you for that.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Studio City, actually.
Get out.
Yeah.
Are you going to
right
come to
around
the
corner?
You should
Giving
come to
him
the
a
club
big
this
Elaine
Saturday.
get
at
out.
8.
Oh, look. Oh, you're in the valley? My club is in the valley. You should come and give me money. Kevin Smith is giving me money. Why aren't you giving me money?
O'clock. I'm interviewing Lorraine Newman from the original cast of Saturday Night Live. And if you come after 7, if you Valley Park, it's like, I think it's like $3. Or no, $7. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, we have great food here and everything. But you'd have fun. What do you want to ask me?
Yeah. I'll definitely check that out.
Oh, good.
No, he's not. Listen to that. Oh, yeah, sure. I'll go to your comedy club, John. That sounds great.
Well, I was just wondering if, in all of your experience, and now that you're a little bit older, if there's anything you could have
More than
changed
a little
in
bit.
your career path, or
I'm actually casually dating someone a little bit older than me. We've gone on a few dates. I don't know if I should call it casually dating, getting to know. She's more than a little bit older than me. Her daughter's closer in age than I am, and it was fun talking to her about how her daughter has been dating a mama's boy for years and years, and it's like, well, mama's boys aren't known for their fucking ability, and she really wants this musician, and this musician really wants her, and musicians, they can fuck.
done anything differently?
What would I have done?
This show was about 10 years ago, G-Rob.
Well,
Let's see.
Hindsight's 2020. You never know. How
9
things are
years
gonna work
ago.
out.
Oh my goodness,
I
only
left
366 views. That's unfortunate. But Wolfbane 1231 thinks that this show is awesome. This was the only one of these. There's a lot of shows on the Lovitz channel. When he attempted to have a vodcasting network, this is the only anything goes with Jon Lovitz.
Saturday Night Live
From
did this
9
movie,
years
Mom and Dad Saved
ago.
the World. And I didn't want to leave Saturday Night Live, but I would have had to miss 2 shows. And Lauren Michaels had a policy where you can't miss shows, so I had to make a choice. So I said, you know what? I've been there 5 years. This is a great part. I want to do it. So I left to do that movie. And it came out 2 years later for a week, and no one saw it. So in hindsight, I wish I could have stayed on the show and done the movie, but I couldn't. So if I knew that was going to be the result, I'd have stayed. But then who knows what would have happened, you know?
He took the risk. You got to do that. It didn't pay off as he wanted it to. It sat on the shelf. It finally got released, and it got pissed on. It got the same reviews that High School High had. And what were those reviews again? It was...
It stinks.
You just don't know. You know, every movie and every script I've ever read, pretty much I wanted to do because I thought it was really good and it was funny and I could do, well in it. And movies,
such a machine. It's so many moving parts of so many things that can fuck up what you see on screen.
They're just tough. And as an actor, you have no control over the editing or what scenes they live in. You have no control over the movie. Just you act in it, and then the director picks when they're going to cut to you and everything. So they're very tough to make. And every movie that's ever made, they try to make a great movie. They really do. But it's just a very difficult thing to do.
Except for the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. He set out to make a bad movie, and he made a bad movie. And that's why the guy in the special effects department smithied his way out of it. The IMDb credit is for someone with Davis, not David. That makes me laugh so much. You fucking idiot. We're going to make a bad movie. It's okay that everything is aimed to be bad, because bad movies are bad. No! Fucking idiot, James Rolfe. You dumb fuck.
Thanks for calling, Alex. Hey, we're on line. You're welcome. Line 3, we have Dave on the phone. How are you, Dave?
Before we get too away from the Angry Video Game Nerd movie, I think that Lily Tomlin has a thing or two to say about it.
No! God damn it! You fucked it up! God damn you!
Yes, he did. He fucked it up, god damn you. And there were 2 directors on that. One said he knew what he was doing because he was in reality television.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! Get the fucking thing together, fuck you!
And they didn't get it fucking together, neither one of them, and it just sat around for 18 months till finally someone did James Rolfe a favor and let him use their soundstage to do that big kaiju battle scene, which he did not get to, but he got to so many useless scenes before that.
You know what the fuck is going on, period? Fuck you!
No, James Rolfe didn't, and neither did his reality television producer who claimed he knew what he was doing. But let's go back to a professional here, Jon Lovitz.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Great. Where are you calling from?
For having me.
Thanks for calling.
Well, I was just calling to ask, you've done a lot of great movies. Maybe not the best one you've done, but the one you had the most fun on.
Oh, well, 3 come to mind. One was, I did a movie, Mr. Destiny. Actually, another,
Mr. Destiny, I vaguely remember that. You weren't the lead in it, but it was about a man. Oh, fuck, I had that on VHS, or my brother did at least. Alan Smithy, Dabble Storian, is saying, yes, Walmart, Isaac Walmart. That was my W-2 for 6 years, was actor. Background actor is what I was most of the time. I point people to the season 5 episode of Superstore to play Where's Waldo with me. I'm there 5 times. You can't miss me 2 of the times. One of them, they brought me in for a silly gag. Actually, I never heard. I did another one of those for those where, as a customer, I was just eating potato chips. I don't know if they ever aired that one, but the one in season 5, they cut from the original episode it was supposed to air in, and then the episode where I just showed up as a customer, it's there again. So 5 times, I'm in that episode. And if there was porn acting Dabble Story, and I've said this before, I've got to wear a lucha mask. I am up to give a proper girlfriend or just someone else's proper wife a good railing with a lucha mask on, but I need probable deniability that it is not me, so that I can get roles in acting again, because usually they don't look too kindly on the people who done the film fucking for the film acting.
I became really good friends with Courtney Cox and Hart Bachner, and the director, Jim. There's the writer and the director, Jim Cruikshank, and James Orr. They were great, and Renee Russo, J.O. Sanders, Jim Belushi. We all got along great. That was a lot of fun. My stepmother's an alien. I mean, I played Dan Aykroyd's brother. Dan Aykroyd's he was so great.
My stepmother is an alien one. That's the one I remember him with the aliens with. So yeah, these are all his smaller roles, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being a character actor. It's just unfortunate that no one liked The Critic at the time. I wish we had 150, 200 episodes of that. That would have been more proper for that show.
Great to me. Greatest guy ever. Kim Basinger's in it. I got to kiss her. That was fun.
Hooray!
And there was a 13-year-old girl in that show who's now a big star, Allison Hannigan, who's on How I Met Your Mother. She was like 13 or 14 years old at the time. That movie, and Richard Benjamin directed that movie was
How I Met Your Mother. They thought they had a clever idea for the finale there at the first season when they filmed it, and they never pivoted. You should have done something else, you motherfuckers. Everyone was in love with the mother without ever seeing her, and you goddamn killed her. You should have known everyone was going to hate that and done something different once this audience started loving this people.
And City Slickers 2 was great too, with Billy Crystal and
Thanks for joining, Vinny.
Jack Palance.
Yeah, we are all big fans of The Critic in here, and the movie parodies that they had. The Cockroach King I watched earlier today. I wish that season 2 was on YouTube, but I'm gonna have to pay someone to get those season 2 episodes. That was the best thing he ever did. Very much disappointed that we only got to get 20 or so episodes of The Critic. I loved Franklin. I loved his dad. I loved the Ted Turner copy, the Duke Phillips, Doris Grau. A big fan. I watched Siskel and Ebert actually review the show, and they didn't like any of the side characters. But look at me. I love the side characters. Mr. Siskel, Mr. Ebert.
Fantastic. Yeah. And we had one scene when we're out in Moab, Utah, and there's a horse stampede, and it felt like you're in a movie. Like most movies, when they shoot them, you kind of feel like you're rehearsing a play and then they're shooting it. But there's some scenes where as they're shooting it, you get this heightened sense and you feel like you're...
Rochi has a good point. Don't watch the audio issues at the beginning, Vinny. We want you to believe that I am the most qualified person, not maybe the most qualified person for a producer's position.
Movie, you have the same feeling as when you watch a movie.
Tattled on myself.
And in that stampede scene, that happened, and when there's a stampede and I'm in the back of my truck and the horse gets away. I'm on a wagon with donkeys and they start running and Billy's chasing me. I'm going, help, and he's yelling and there's at least 300 horses. We're outside down below these cliffs of the Colorado River. And that felt like it was out of a Western, like a John Wayne movie. It was.
I did get to be in a Western. I was in the Call of the Wild. It was supposed to be Alaska in the 1890s. So we're going into the middle of the fucking desert and they are putting snow on the ground. Someone twisted an ankle actually because there was a little dip and they're like, all right, we need snow. Blah! Oh, that movie, that fucking dog looks so bad. I was so thrilled about that movie. Did we have horses? I don't recall horses there. There were horses in another. What the fuck was it? I'll remember. There was another Western I was in where one of the horses broke free for a quick minute. It's like, everyone stop. Horse wrangler needs to get the horse. Don't spook him away.
But those are my favorites. But thanks for calling. All right. Next on line we have James. How are you, James?
Hi, I'm great. How are you, John?
I'm great. Where are you calling from?
North Hollywood.
Everyone from the exact same position. Guy from Studio City, guy from North Hollywood. Oh, he's gonna shill his club again. I bet he's gonna say, "You gotta come to my club," just like he did with the other guy. Give me money at my club, just like Kevin Smith does. I'm going to have to look more into that drama. I didn't know about that drama till my chat filled me in between those two.
Yes, I just wanted to ask you, what do you feel about Mexicans working for you?
Interesting question. As long as they're gay Mexicans. For example, we have and I don't care if you're gay, but you try to diversify. Like, what was her name? Ellen Pompeo, the actress. Apparently she watched the Emmys and she said, I saw this dance number when there's only white people.
You're boring me, James. I'm going to leap. I'm going to talk to the chat, catch up there. And going back to the porn acting, Rochi asking, slightly below what looks good on camera. Like, you want 8 inches to look proper on camera, just like you want a 34 waist to not look fat on camera. And but with the more amateur porns now, the 6.5, 7 inchers are getting out there. I don't know how my girth stacks up, but there you have information of my wiener since you asked, Rochi. Even background stuff in porn. You could be delivering a pizza. There's no way those background actors in porn are getting paid. That's just whoever is on set at the time. Here, hold this while you're not holding that other thing. Have you told Vinny you have a Vinny Paulino co-host episode? You've edited that for me. I've said that comes off a little strong for me personally as I'm campaigning to be the Vinny Paulino. It is right there. I do have the option to go to it. And honesty is what we look for. So that is a good thing to know. I let you know of my little fuck ups there. And King of all diffs popping in. Thanks all you guys for chatting. Let's see what John was talking about at this point. Okay. Jon Lovitz, not the John Kinky Loco and all you guys are talking about.
In particular, one sketch on SNL. That you guys
Sorry about that, Kinky Loco. I blame the chat for bringing me around to talking about porno talk. But there it was.
Right.
Usually we do not talk about dick sizes. You tuned in at the exact wrong time. Go back a little further and we're talking about The Critic. What a fun show.
Yeah, I love that sketch. I have it committed to memory. And
oh, thank you.
It's very funny, and I was wondering why that was your favorite.
Oh, well, I like old movies from the 40s, and Phil loved them. And actually...
Has anyone in the chat called in to 818-691-3959 to see what that links to currently?
When they had the Olympics in Los Angeles in 1984, along with that, they had the Olympics Arts Festival, and they had all these, shows and painting, gallery shows, and all different things in the arts that they funded. And they picked 9 equity waiver theaters and gave them money to do shows. And I was in the groundlings at the time with Phil.
Jesus, this is why I put you at 1.5 speed instead of 1.25 speed. Did you lose your funny? Like, it seems that people are losing their funny more and more often, like Sarah Silverman and Amy Schumer and Jon Lovitz. Was it this bad of people losing their funny later in age and years previous? Well, I suppose the Jerry Lewis turned very fucking bitter. We know that.
Well, I was in their B company, the Sunday company. He was in the main one. So they decided that Phil had a character that was called Chick Hazard, which was like a detective from the 40s. And it was satirizing those movies. So they did a whole show based on that. And so he did that. And I loved old movies. I got to understudy that show for like four times.
Yep, back to really 1.5 times speed.
That's when she saw me understudying. It was.
Yeah, he's talking acting talk now, and we do know that like he's switching from comic mode, which is fun, to actor mode, which is very often just boring. And I gave you some actor talk earlier, but I hope I gave you some insight without getting too far into the weeds and getting boring.
It was called the Chick Hazard Olympic Trials, and I understudied a part, and I went on 4 times. That got me into the Groundlings Theater, and that's when I met Phil, who'd recommended me. So he was like, I was just so grateful to him. So he was like, I idolized him, and he was the king of the Groundlings. And we became very close friends, but like brothers. But we'd always go around here.
And Paul Rubens was in the Groundlings too. I think that's how Jan Hooks and Phil Hartman got the parts in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. The Groundlings fucking fire during that time. And you see some of these surviving videos. There was no Groundlings in Los Angeles. And I would like to start up one of those here in somewhere. I've got some credits that's good enough to say I can be your writing and sketch teacher. Let's see if we can get someone else in here to help pad out that roster. I know the building. There's somewhere that just went out of building. I want that fucking location. And the Money Men, they are day drinking. I'm usually not a day drinker, but I ran into them when I was in the brewery sooner than usual. So I'm going to have to join the rich day drinkers more often. And I cannot partake in the day drinking at that point. But I would like your money to make us money, sir. King of all diffs did some chatterbait with a girl a few times. I've got I like the strip chat accounts. Those live streaming girls are just the same as any other live streaming girls on the internet. But webcam is fun at times. You mean the John that drinks around 250 to 1,090 beers a month? Yes, we did the math there in the Discord. And 8 1/3 beers a day, what that equaled out to, I don't even want to do that math. No, I have an IPA or two a day. That's my limit. Maybe I'll go and have a few more Yingling, because you can get down more Yingling like their Coors, almost like their Coors Light. There's 10 of us here. Yes, that is a record. There was 11, G-Rob. The former record, we're currently at 8. I think 7 was the former record, but thanks you folks for getting me to break double digits here as I am broadcasting here Sundays through Thursdays, rather, here on the Dylan from Somewhere channel. And let's go ahead and chill and tell you to like, subscribe. We have a Discord now. Let's get that link over there. Oh, I didn't copy it, though. So that's the link to the Discord where you can submit co-host audition contenders, or if you would like to screenshot your TikToks for 30 minutes to 60 minutes, TikTok Live, scroll for 30 to 60 minutes. There's a section for that. If anyone, I just got finished editing those for the week. So we have, we should have that thumbnail ready sooner than usual. Record-breaking stream. Absolutely. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you, Kinky Loco, for tuning in for the first time and having many of our regulars, G-Rob, King of all diffs, Dabble Storian, De La. Oh, look at me doing a roll call. I'm a regular Cardiff, aren't I? Thank you all for making this stream not just me looking at the wall. As I've said many times, I would do that because I'm having fun with these co-host auditions. And Vinny, look in the Creep Off email coming up soon. I'm starting to reach out to people for a new show concept in which I actually will be talking to people and not clips. But let's talk the clips.
Just cross that line. I don't go, you better wait.
Okay, he's sounding weird now. Back to 1 1/4 rather than 1 1/2.
2 cents, I had to go, yeah, what would you do for a nickel? And we would always just do that. And then I said to him one day, why not let's write a sketch, with that? And I thought, I kind of came up with one more mission where I was the head of a studio head, and he's, the actor, and he's playing these in World War II movies. He's so caught up in it that he's like gone crazy, and I got to let him go. And anyway, we wrote the sketch together, and he always said it was his favorite sketch. And it was just fun because we always did it, and we're great friends, and we knew the timing of it. So it was and it was our sense of humor. So that's the main.
I'm going to leap again. He's getting a very actory in here, getting into the craft, getting James Lipton-y of not being very entertaining about talking about the entertainment stream. And American Cupcake will also get a shout out for telling me it's a good show. Thank you. I believe I have improved. And in looking back at some clips, it's been a couple of weeks since I watched some of these back. And you've got to watch these back to improve upon them. I should be watching them back to cut out the audio. That should be coming up soon of the audio version only, because I was told you got to do that to help yourself expand. And I need to expand. And I thought I was onto a joke there. Swing and a miss. What's going on in the chat? Coming soon, Dillon with the King. Absolutely. I'm up for it's a guest host spot, myself and a guest co-host. So I'm up for people. I know Dabble Storian doesn't have a mic. I would prefer getting you on after you have a mic because I come from Hollywood where we have good light. You see, I should give a few of you other dabblers the tips. Can I grab this other one? Yeah, just go to Home Depot, get this light fixture, and you want to place it opposite against the wall. You want to get that bounce going rather than it being too harsh, put right at you. Get the highest or the second highest bulb that there is.
Right now you're sitting.
And yes, I did have two of those up there. That's my backup.
And I'm talking on the Ustream right now.
And that's it? What about now?
You're coughing, and you're saying, "Are you watching this on Ustream?"
Oh, that's a big delay.
That is a good point, Dabble Story, and I don't know if I would make an exception for John. He is a superstar, and he had a mic. Did he lose his mic? I have had this mic for years. A lot of this thing, stuff that came in handy, I've just had for years, and luckily I didn't throw it away, so I would have to buy it over again. And everything worked out in the end. It is all being used for this.
Waving. Oh, you were waving when you asked that.
Yes. Okay.
Now the delay has come through.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, I mean, you did obviously really good in acting. Like your comedy is huge, and your acting was just as big, if not bigger. And I'm wondering, what kind of advice would you tell for people trying to get into acting? Would you tell them to go to some coaches or some acting schools instead, or
go to somewhere where there's a film industry? I'd say not Los Angeles now, because I am on the Let Los Angeles Die platform in trying to get this SAG and WGA strike over with. They're not budging, so get the fuck out of Los Angeles. Let it die. There is one in Louisiana, down in New Orleans, Atlanta, New York, Chicago. One of those four. Of course, theater is much bigger in New York. Chicago, I know a lot of people who are doing stuff there in live theater that I ran into. What was his name on the Baltimore scene? I knew someone in the Baltimore scene that's been very active in the Chicago scene.
Oh, well, the first thing I would do is I would start doing plays and see in school and just see if you enjoy.
Okay, John and I agree with that. That's how I started in theater and community college. And that is where the acting bug bit me. And I went to Hollywood and did it for a while, mostly in the background. And sometimes not in the background, in the foreground, front. Fun, rather.
Enjoy it and have fun doing it. And there's two books. Uta Hagen, great acting teacher, great actress, wrote a book, Respect for Acting. And I would read that. And there's another book called Audition by Michael Shirtleff. And it's about how to audition and get the job. And I would read those books and then ask yourself, does this sound interesting to me? You have to really, I think, to be in acting, you can get into it for whatever reason you want, but the work part of it is are you into trying to figure out why a person does something and then reenacting that? And do you like being in front of?
It's good to be a people watcher. If you are a people watcher, if you're half a stalker or full stalker, you're already on to being an actor, because it is case study that you want to really study people to figure out what you want to do. Sometimes your first instinct is wrong. You're in a character. I love being in a character. Like, this is intimidating to me, being more me than I have been on stage in a long time of putting on characters. But I did find my niche, and I do enjoy performing.
Oh, good for you.
No reason to mock me, Christian Bale. You enjoy it too.
In front of people pretending you're somebody else and performing. And if so, you just have to practice it a lot, But yeah, I would get a good acting teacher. I would learn how to do the stage. I would learn how to act for the camera. I would take improv classes, everything. And they all help. Improv makes you great at auditions. The stage makes you learn how to tell a story from the beginning to the end and create a character. And then the film acting makes you much more real. And there's an art to film acting. It's all acting, but it's different than the stage.
That is true. The acting for theater, if you see those background actors fucking up a scene, that's probably me the first take. Someone has to come over to me and be like, fucking take it down a notch. That did happen. Not frequently, but not infrequently, because I was trained for theater. I never took acting classes for film. I was just thrown into film. And Isaac Walmart is asking about that dynamic of, did I get to mingle with the other actors on Superstores? The background actors are kept separate, especially when there's a bunch of people. You want them away from where you're recording sound. I compare it to summer camp. And it's just fun. You're getting paid to go to summer camp and hang out with other people of similar age, maybe not a similar age, but just other people with similar interests. And then you get to go pretend for a little while when you get on set. And they've got a background holding. Craft services is fantastic. When you've got your SAG-AFTRA card, you get to access to all the craft services. Many times the non-union people, they've got a less than. You got some of this stuff, but you can't come to our nice, beautiful one over here. You got a SAG card? All right, you fuckers. You're allowed over here with the principal cast and the crew. Yeah, being a stand-in and having full range as the cast and crew does, that's where I got addicted to artesian coffee, was the craft services guy bringing in cold brew every day. And I learned my limit. I have got a coffee limit like I have a beer limit, because too much coffee gets me very emotional. I am an emotional caffeinator.
And so I would, I kind of had to go out and train myself in everything. I would learn Shakespeare. I did plays in high school as a drama major at UC Irvine for 4 years. I had William Needles who taught me Shakespeare. Robert Cohen, he wrote a book on acting called Acting Power. I would read that, great book. And then after, I had a teacher named Tony Barr, and he wrote a book, Acting for the Camera,
Barr,
which is great. And I learned that from him. And then I was at the Groundlings doing improv. So I tried to learn everything so that my plan was, if I started working, which I hoped I did, that I could do everything, so I'd have much more of a chance of getting work in all different areas. And it worked, So that's my choice.
Work.
Yeah, it worked really good. You were well prepared before you got your even first opportunity to do something big.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is, you have to get to the point where you're good enough that I got into Tonight Show through the Groundlings, and then I got an agent. And then when you're auditioning, you're competing against everybody.
Gosh darn it, people like you.
Has been doing it for years. So you have to beat everybody out. It's very competitive. So you have to really be ready. So when
especially with people that look just like you, people who look nothing like you, we can be friends. People who have a similar look to you, you cocksucker, we are after the same job. I think I've told about my audition for Disjointed, where I came in to be a Wookiee. It was supposed to be a Wookiee yawn, and I spent all night trying to get my Wookiee yawn down, because they use many sounds for the Wookiee. They've got the and then the more gurgling, and it's like doing the Popeye voice. You can do the skibbity bib, or you can do this, but you can't do both, because that guy was a Tuvan and spoke 2 syllables at once in different keys. So what I did was a big and I was pretty sure I had it. There was one guy that didn't know Star Wars. He went in to do, what's a Wookiee? And you could hear him from the waiting room. Ah! And I thought I had it, like looking at everyone else in the room. I was like, fuck yeah, I got this. And I'd been an extra on Disjointed already. I'm going to get a line-ish, something. It's words. They're paying me for saying that word. So then a guy walks in who looks like a fucking Wookiee, red hair, way down, big bushier beard than I am, taller and fatter. And I'm like, God damn it. He's going to have to be a deaf mute to not get that role. And he did get that role. And they actually called me in to be a background actor on that day. So I got to see him do my part. And damn it. If you had gotten a flat tire that day, that would have been me. But because you look like a Wookiee and I'm just a hairy person, you deserve the part.
Say, can you're auditioning, can you play like this? Can you do drama? Can you do comedy? Can you do plays? Can you do TV? Can you do movies? You got to be trained and ready to go. And so that's what I did. Well, thank you so much for calling. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm here right now, the Jon Lovitz Vodcast Studio here at the Jon Lovitz Comedy Club and Podcast Theater at Universal City Walk. This Saturday, by the way, we'll be streaming live at 8 o'clock p.m.
what is it? The Universal Bar and Grill. That's had stand-up comedy for as long as I was in Los Angeles. They're still doing it, and it's just really an odd setup. I don't like the setup that they have for live comedy.
I have on Lovitz or Leave It's live from the stage, and my guest will be Lorraine Newman. And Lorraine, of course, was in the original cast of Saturday Night Live. She was an original Conehead, played Dan Aykroyd's wife in the sketches and the movies. And
we know.
I guess on TV.
Well, I guess we all don't know. I am very in tune with the original Saturday Night Live cast, so I know.
You might have to start interning and building up your hours to get in the union. But that's a whole nother field.
Yeah,
I would just start researching it on the internet. Look up.
It seems like he's getting a very technical talk, very into it talk.
He says it was true.
I spent a lot of time with the chat today. I was going to give John a little more time because we are approaching the hour.
One hand on top.
But you're not giving me too much. I didn't really audition much for you today, did I? I just talked around you, which is a kind of an audition. It shows how much I can carry the show since I talked around you rather than with you. And you, as the host, have the option to pull me back, Mr. Lovitz.
Top of the other like this. You're just adding information to the scene.
Okay.
And so all you do is, it's like, the way we're having this conversation now, and you're listening to me and you're saying, okay, yes, that's improv. It's just have the conversation with the person. Don't even think of it as anything different. You're just who you are. And you think, who are they? Where am I? How do I feel about where I am? And
Who am I? Where am I? The Neil Breen strategy.
I want from the person, and then just talk to them. And then whatever they say, in acting, if someone says something, the process is you hear it, you think about it, you feel something, and then emotionally, and then you respond. That's it. Right. And then they do the same thing after what you say. And so improv, you don't have to write or anything. You just go with whatever.
You have to avoid bullshit, my line. That's something that my acting teacher mentioned. And very much can get into that mindset of bullshit, my line. You've got to hear and respond. And it's fun being a character. Some people can only be themselves. I love being a character. Oh, I kept the shill segment
and try to say
going,
everything really specific.
Subscribe, comment after this is over. Thank you for being active in the chat. We've got a Discord now, and get those. And I hit a wall.
You can't be too specific.
Strike two.
If I said to you, what'd you do today?
Two strikes.
Oh, I got up about 9 o'clock and showered, and I had lunch over at McDonald's on Maduro Boulevard, and then I ran into my friend Bob. Everything's specific, and it doesn't sound strange, right? Because that's how people talk. And then my only other advice is practice fake phone calls. And try to fool people like you're on the phone, and that's like improv. Yeah.
Ooh, phony phone calls. Like Richard and Sal and OJ. I love learning more about Obnoxious John and how he was on the scene of the phony phone call underground and having all those things that he was doing. That's very fun.
Well, anyway, thank you for calling. I have another call, but good luck to you. And thanks so much for calling. And now you're welcome. We're on the phone with Marty from Pacoima. Marty, are you there?
Oh, yeah. Hi, John.
Are you from Pacoima?
No, I'm actually right in Hollywood.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah, as I'm attempting to go further, we have dropped off audience. That may mean that we have hit the peak of what was fun on this show, and I don't want to go too long. We want to leave while we're still friends, and I'm jumping around with Jon Lovitz. I think you were doing too much technical talk, Jon Lovitz there. Let's go ahead and call it a night. I still like you more than a friend, just like the puppet says. And I hope to be your co-host again someday, Jon Lovitz. But for now, we're going to call it a day. No wonder you only had one episode of this. This was, I would call it a bunt. I wouldn't call it a full-on miss. You having conversations with the beloved chatters was something fun. So let's go ahead and get on out of here with some TikToks, including something from The Simpsons. We have re.sept, however you would pronounce that. And here we have got her doing a dance from The Simpsons. She reenacts
some gangster
a lot of
is
dances.
dissing your fly girl. You just give him one of these. Ooh, hey, ooh.
And she has a lot of those. She has reenacted some stuff from Family Guy and a lot of people just flipping out on the internet. And here we have a film parody in honor of the critic. I am going to turn this volume off because that is the copyrighted music. I don't have Patrick Starr DMC alarm to go, but we have a Lucy, I Love Lucy type production line with Mike Myers and Jason Voorhees smashing his candy up. And Jason does not approve of getting it all the way down to Reese's Pieces. Jason thought that Reese's Cups is as low as this needs to go, and we do not need to go any further. Dabble Story and the Weber Cooks, I do need to team that up with something. It's only 10 minutes, all of his shorts, so that it would need to be a two-parter with something else. I will look out for someone else who did not put out too much content, but is very lampoonable. Where was that? G-Rob, I have no idea what you're talking about. But thank you for enjoying my performances. I have no idea who that guy was. But thank you for your support. Here we have a movie review of shit. We have a shit movie review with no volume. And that's because it's off. Sorry about that camera angle. I have this set up a little odd where I couldn't see what I was clicking there. So here we are with technical
because I did. The film's called Doggy Poo, and it's about a pile of dog poop trying to find meaning in this terrifying thing called life.
Oh, yuck! It's a doggy poo!
After being launched out of the rear end of a dog, our main character is born, soon meeting another piece of known as manure, who's kind of
You are a doggy poo, the worst kind of them all.
The worst kind of
Wiener poo is the worst type of poo there is.
Not when this guy exists, he's not. Eventually, we learn that Manure fell off an ox cart by accident and is worried about getting run over on the road. But instead of getting run over, some dude just scoops him up with his bare hands.
Isn't this from my land? I must have dropped it on the way.
Dude, ever hear of a show?
This is shit from my land. How dare the shit get away from my land? I keep all my shit in the same place on my land. This guy needs a spin-off movie.
The best kind.
Even that cow's like, what is bro doing? Later, Doggy Poo meets a leaf, but it ends up blowing away. This is just way too depressing for a movie about poop. Afterwards, a chicken and its kids swing by, and Doggy Poo tries to convince them to eat him.
I will be a good meal for your babies.
Actually, maybe just one bite wouldn't hurt.
Yuck!
Ultimately, our hero looks to the stars for answers.
How can I be like you?
In the end, a dandelion sprouts next to him.
You can be a good fertilizer.
And then consumes him.
You have to melt into my body, though.
Looking forward to the sequel, Dandelion meets Roundup. Hit that follow or you'll step in Doggy Poo.
The very end, beautiful. Let's make babies together. Well, oops, sorry about that. Made me lose my train of thought, that video audio coming up. I forgot that I had to go out and come back in. So all these clips are just going to play without me prompting them. Very much like, what is that? The anglerfish? The pufferfish? I think it's the anglerfish, where the male just attaches himself to the female and just disintegrates. That is how the shit movie ended, is we can be one together. But mostly me. And I do like to think a lot about this. I put a lot of thought into this show. And let's see what Ken Tobox thinks of that.
I like to think. I don't.
She does not like to think. What is in a name? A lot is in a name. And Danny G. German found that out. I don't think she realized exactly what was in her name until Danny G. German got on social media.
in Danny's defense, okay, she's been Danny G. German her whole life. She clearly is older than social media. Okay. And then one day, after writing Danny G. German her entire life, this thing called social media comes out. And she's like, oh, I got to make a handle. I'll just use my name. And she munched it all together. And you see what we see here. But in her mind, she still saw Danny G. German. She don't see what we all see. She don't see the nigger man. she don't see that. She's been Danny G. German her whole life. That's the only way she can see it. You know, she didn't know that her name mushed together sound like a racist describing a black dude. You know, who'd you see in the store? The nigger man. Like she didn't know. She didn't know. I think she deserves a pass here. She can't live this down. Like now, the rest of her life, she's gonna see it every time she signs her checks. The nigger man.
Devilstorian believes that Danny G. German is the real DGG, that man who is from the family of DG that was on with Daylaw and Devilstorian having an interview. Get to the chats real quick before we go out like we always do. Well, let's go ahead and share that screen to give the preview of Bouncy Clown. As I say hello once again to all you good folks out there. Whoops. American Cupcake. Okay, I'm at my pickup. I can stay a little bit. And we are only here for a little bit. We have got 2 videos from Bouncy Clown. I'll say my goodbyes and we will get on out of here. Yes, Rochi, it is time for the sexy clowns. And she doesn't have on a sexy outfit, but there's just something about that face that says, let's do some clown porn.
I'm scared of clowns. Cool. I'm scared of basic little bitches,
So be careful, you basic little bitches. You two might get scared of each other and tear one another apart. And we have just a really quick one from Bouncy, since that one wasn't long. This one isn't that long either. Bouncy the Clown, POV. A clown tells you about her day. How is she doing that makeup so seductively when it looks very much like all the other clowns' makeups? It must be that face underneath it that she just can't help but being a pretty lady who looks like she would accept some wang under the right circumstances. Please don't turn it into a doggy wang. Please turn it into a sex wang. We would not like to be a balloon wiener. Thank you guys so much for sticking around today. We have a few suggestions for tomorrow. I am still, I think I'm going to do Bad Baby tomorrow. That was one of the suggestions from either Daylaw or Devilstorian. Weber's Cooking. That is a fun little thing. Being that it's just 10 minutes. Maybe Weber's Cooking and Kay's Cooking can be a double shot episode coming up soon. Lorna Armstrong, I don't know anything about. I'd hold off on throwing that together, since I do have a backlog from you right now, and I like throwing those in to add some variety. But the raw stream, I enjoy going to the most. So like once every 2 weeks, I'll switch it up. Not every single week, with something thrown together in an edited format. So let's throw that into the Discord, that name. I already lost it. It wasn't Lauren Michaels. But yeah, let's throw that into the Discord. If you want to throw something together with Kay's Cooking, Devilstorian, another approximately 10 to 15, 20 max of Kay's Cooking, I can team that up with Weber's Cooking, and that'll get me to the approximate length of what my episodes are. Yeah, I'm feeling bad baby tomorrow. I was on the fence about it because she is 14 at the time. She is an adult now. So we are picking on an adult. We do not want to pick on kids. Well, we don't want to pick on anybody. We want to be their co-host. We want to be their friend. We want to be their producer, especially Ryback. Ryback, you need a producer. Oh, Lauren Armstrong was on To Catch a Predator. And he's well, if he has something separate, I don't want to do To Catch a Predator. So someone else is doing that. I'll let them do that. Anything directly from To Catch a Predator, no thanks. Someone else is doing that. I will let them cover that old hat. Yeah, that is all for the broadcasting day today. Thank you for making this episode entertaining with me. I think the banter that I had with the chat was better than the banter I had with our host Jon Lovitz, because he just was not in an entertaining mode most of the time. He did give some fun information here and there, but very inside the actor's studio. On the Jon Lovitz show there was only one episode, so there's no going back to that one again. I don't know if Jon Lovitz has some other solo stuff, but the rest of the stuff on his channel, he has some other people with him. So, okay, yes, possibly the Lauren Armstrong, former star of To Catch a Predator. I'm in the market to do someone who's on there doing a YouTube show, but yeah, the actual show, gonna pass on. Someone's got that market covered. I'm not gonna step on any hack toes. I will step on some talented toes, maybe, possibly. We'll see how that goes. But thank you all for coming. Yeah, biggest broadcast day we had for about 10 or 15 minutes. We had over 10 people in here. New record, double digits. Hooray! I don't have any noisemakers or anything nearby to celebrate the occasion. I'll have to go to Party City in case we get up to 10 again. So that'll be our regular celebration number for now, is when we get up to double digits. Hooray! Thank you for chatting. Don't forget to comment after this is done with something pertinent that helps people find it as well. Like, subscribe, notification bell. We've got a Discord now, thanks to Daylaw. And we will be back tomorrow with Bad Baby. Then TikTok around the clock the following day. Thank you so much for coming. Now,